Alright, hello guys. Today I'm going to explain to you how to use the Viggen effectively in Sim. Now, uh, I'm not actually gonna go in an actual match with this thing because the fucking repair costs in Sim right now are they're too much. But what I can show you is what shit means basically. So of course you start the engine by pressing I. Well, at least it's for me. Okay, so I have two sky flashes, two AIM-9Js, and the rocket pods. Today I'm going to show you basically what you should do and how to use everything effectively. Uh, of course, you shouldn't be really taking this thing into ground sim just because it's super expensive and the anti-ground capabilities are limited. Of course, you should bind these three stuff. So, you should bind lock radar IRST on target, radar beyond visual range combat, this one, and switch radar on and off. And you should change the radar mode. That's for the pulse Doppler. Um, I do suggest though, if you do find someone who there isn't any ground clutter, I think you should turn off pulse Doppler because it's not that reliable to use. So let's go ahead and take off. So also you have to bind a button for to change the HUD. But first we run through the HUD right now. Okay, so the 5-0 and the -5, those three lines, those are the angle of your plane, as I think most of you know. The 26, 27, and so on, though that's the attitude, the compass, basically. And the number 0.53 is the Mach number. Uh, basically, yeah. I think the others, like the 200 to 400, is how much, how many meters going up, but I'm not sure. If anyone knows what those are, please correct me. Anyway, so of course you should set your trim. This thing doesn't have elevator trim. I mean, sorry, aileron trim, because of course, the elevators and ailerons are the same thing on this plane. The canards basically on the front are just for accessibility and landing flaps. So first of all, this thing guzzles a lot of fuel. Um, so I do suggest keeping your eye on the fuel. Okay, so the first cockpit, I mean the first change of HUD. This is the cannon. You basically point at the ground, um, and where this thing points, you can shoot. Of course, it's gonna be a bit lower. Okay, sight mode. This is the rocket sight mode. Um, I'm gonna go show you on any. I'll try to find the AI, and I'll show you how this thing works basically. Now I have my stuff, my secondary weapons, set to my joystick's L3 button. Basically, it's to have everything which I need in one button. And the L1 button, I'm using a HOTAS 4 by the way, PS4 version. Um, and the L1 button to shoot everything. Of course, the trigger stays for the gun, but I have everything, rockets and air-to-air missiles, in the same button. Personally, I think it feels very cool to use as well. So we're closing in. We'll try to find one of them. Oh, my phone. Alright, so you see how it's closing in, right? And the rockets are equipped, and we can fire when our thing is prepared. Like, see? We got a kill. Of course, we have the RWR going on because there's the Russian top tier air to air. I mean, sorry, Russian SPAA, top tier SPAA. So, now, what's next is the simple part basically. It's how to lock on your radar on an enemy. So, of course, I recommend putting the radar up to 30 kilometers, but right now, oh, there's an enemy here. But right now we don't really need to because we're in test flight. Also, yes, you should change the scope scale of the stuff, of the radar, to 30 kilometers. And that thing is more than 30 kilometers because it's not popping up on our radar. Rockets, alright, so scope scale 30 kilometers should come up. Yep. It takes a while. Let's try to disable pulse Doppler. Maybe that will help. Yep. Okay. So these are the sky flashes, the RB721s, the Dogfight Missiles. So as you can see, let me pause the game a bit. So as you can see in the radar, there's the actual radar, a semicircle in the middle of it, and then another semicircle. I'm pretty sure the small semicircle, the smallest one, is the range where the missile won't track as well, so you shouldn't fire there. But the semicircle in the middle, that means the range of the missile. If a plane is going away from you, it's gonna be very, very small. But if a plane is going at you, it's gonna be very big. For obvious reasons. So let's fire the missile. Of course, I'm using the same buttons to launch everything. So, whoop, and this tracking. Could take some time and splash. Yep. Alright, so that's our first MiG down. So I have to find the other MiG. I have no idea where he is. But yeah, of course I recommend using your sky flashes because they're really good. A9Js compared to them have a really low range. Of course, this is the situation where you have to use a pulse Doppler because I'm looking down right now. Switching the mode now, you see how the radar just cleaned itself up. That's because of the pulse Doppler it's working. So I recommend even when you're using the A9Js, you use the radar, you guide it with the radar because it tells you the range as well. Plus, it locks onto you automatically. Oh, I think we spotted. Wait. Okay, someone's there. Oh, I see him. I see him. He's there. Okay, so switching to the A9Js, you see the difference. Look at the radar. You see the difference between the A9Js and the A9, sorry, and the sky flashes. So this mode that's gonna be beyond visual range. That's you have to look at the enemy for it to work basically. Yep, and that is why. So A9Js, you can look ahead. They spool up and you fire them. Basically, and splash. That's really, it's very simple. Now let's switch back to the rockets, switch our sight to the rockets, turn off the radar, and return to the anti-air. Now I can't seem to find them. Okay, I guess. Oh, I see. Alright. Yep, ammunition exploded. Yeah, it's very, 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 very easy to use this plane in sim. Now, I have it almost painted. The only thing I don't have is the G suit. But every performance upgrade and a weaponry upgrade is there. I have, so, and right now it's around 22,000. I'm not sure if it goes a bit more up with the G suit, but it probably does. So let's change the HUD again, there, and we're going for the landing because the fuel is very low right now, 2 minutes and 40 seconds basically. So you have to you have to bind brakes, okay? So I binded my brake to number 2, okay? So, and you have to bind reverse thruster. Of course, I think if you're gonna use a Viggen, you already did this. So yeah, let's line ourselves to the runway. flaps, I mean gear down and flaps down. Flaps landing. This only has landing flaps, but they're pretty good. So we're going on approach. This is honestly for me the hardest part of flying this plane. The landing. You see how the aircraft kind of sways up and down? That's the really big problem. Okay. So whenever you hit, exactly when you hit the ground, start pressing your brake button and the reverse thruster button. Wait around 2 seconds for the reverse thrusters to engage and accelerate, basically. Oh, reverse thruster is on. Yup, you see how fast I'm decelerating now. That is basically everything you have to know about the Viggen. For sim at least. When you're around this person, around 200 kilometers, you should stop using the reverse thrusters and just rely on the brakes, because they're pretty good. Yeah, this basically concludes everything what you need for the Viggen. I'm sorry if some things I explained them a bit badly, but that's really it. Anyways, thanks for watching. I enjoyed making this video, honestly, and I'll see you next time.